class about capability maturity model is that it is developed by Software Engineering Institute. First thing, in 1987 it got developed in USA, and it is a kind of framework which is used to analyze the approaches and techniques followed by the organization for the development of the software product. For so that we have discussed in maturity framework also, that we have to check the level of the organization, what kind of process they are following, and at what level they are working. So kind of similar is there. You can relate things from that diagram also. And this capability maturity model, it provides us guidelines to enhance the maturity level of those software products, and it works on scale of level number 1 to 5. There are 5 different levels, and there are some key process areas. Please mute yourself. There are some key process areas that you have to remember, and that can come as a separate question also in exam. So this was the diagram we have discussed yesterday. I'll move forward and I will show you these key process areas. Actually, in last class I've shown you this one, but CMM follows less process areas as compared to CMMI. So I wanted to make it little brief, and I wanted to discuss these key process areas separately. Consider it as like this is one question, and that can come over in your exam for sure, related to key process areas. Even the question can come up in exam that discuss the differences between process areas of CMM and CMMI. The later versions of CMMP, CMM, TSP, these are kind of part of you will relate it to CMMI only. But the major question becomes over here is CMM and CMMI differences. What is the main difference from them? Why there was a need that CMM was not enough and CMMI came into existence? So these topics you have to remember. So this diagram, this particular diagram that you are watching right now, for each level, level 1 initial, level 2 repeatable, level 3 defined, level 4 managed, level 5 optimized. Some process areas, key process areas are being given over here for CMM model. What are they, and what main points, at least 2 points you have to remember, key process areas you have to remember. So in initial, no key process areas are defined. Processes when the organizations, when they are on initial level, they are immature, they are not well defined. You already know that. No basis for predicting product quality, time of completion, nothing is there. So that's why there are no key process areas also for level 2 repeatable level. This level focus on establishing basic policies for project management, and already we have discussed these things, but what I'm focusing in this one is on the key process areas that you have to do. So the key process areas over here is, first one is project planning. Project planning means defining the resources required, the objectives, constraints for the project, and in this we present a detailed plan to be followed systematically for the completion of the good quality software. So that is project planning. Configuration management is another key process area for repeatable level. That is the main part of the configuration management, is to focus on maintaining the performance of the software product. It can include the life cycle of it, it can include the components of it. So that is the main purpose in configuration management. That means you have to talk about performance, maintenance of performance. Third key process area is requirements management. We are on this one, the repeatable level. Third one is requirements management. Requirements management includes the management of customer feedback, which helps in making some changes in the requirements. And it also consists of the modified requirements. So requirement management means okay, what are the changes coming up, what requirements you have to change, what were the initial requirements, and what are the modified requirements. So that is requirement management. Subcontract management. Subcontract management focuses on effective management of qualified software contractors. That is, you can say it takes care of that part of the software which are developed by third parties, in which third parties are involved, outer parties are involved. So that is subcontract management. So when two parties are making some deal with each other, they are discussing on development of the software, then that comes under this subcontract. Last one is quality assurance. Software quality assurance, it guarantees you a good quality software product which follows some certain rules and standards uh, made by the organization. So that is quality assurance. So these are the level of improvements that comes under level 2. Now here in this complete last part of your unit 1, you will get to know these levels in little bit more detail, and you will get lot of content to utilize for your exam purpose in whatever form the question comes. You can utilize all these points, you can make your own answer. So just keep these things in mind. So in repeatable level, what key process areas you have to remember is planning of project, configuration, performance, maintenance of performance, that is configuration management, requirement management, modified requirements, initial requirements, subcontract management, third party involvement starts, software quality assurance, that means following some rules and guidelines. Level 3 key process areas are first one at level 3 what happens that we have already discussed about level 3, documentation of the standard guidelines and procedures takes place. That if you remember the diagram of how to define the process, so you can make one definition for the defined level from the complete diagram, involve all the things together and make one definition. So it is a well-defined set of specific software engineering and management process, that is defined level, where we are defining a complete process, how things will happen. We are defining a team and what roles we have to assign to them, and that's why the key process areas are related to those ones only. Like first one is your peer reviews. So in this one, defects are to be removed by using some review methods or inspections. You have to check if there are some problematic areas with the resources, with the team. So that is to be reviewed and sorted out. Second one is intergroup coordination. You can relate it with your team building skills. That is it consists of planned interactions between developed teams to ensure efficient and proper fulfillment of the commitments made and the fulfillment of the requirements of the customer. So it is like planned interactions between two teams, you can say, or between organizations, development teams that are inside that organization. So some activities should be there to increase that coordination, to increase that interaction. So that is intergroup coordination. Next one is organization process definition. So the main focus here is on the development and maintenance of the standard development process. Some standards are there that organization have to follow. So on the basis of that, on those standards, the development and maintenance of the processes should be there. So that is organization process definition, or you can also relate it with there should be some vision and mission statement for the organization. They have to follow it and they have to work accordingly. Next one is organization process focus. This part includes the activities and practices that should be there for the improvement of the organization's capability. So that is process focus. You have to figure out the disadvantageous areas or those features which you can improve, those parts, those activities you have to focus on, so that can in the end improvise or optimize your process. So that is organization process focus. Last one is training programs. Training programs focuses on improvement in the knowledge and skills of the team members. So you can well understood this part with the name only, that training programs are for what purpose. If some person is not that much skillful, some training should be provided to the complete team. Then these training programs should be organized, should be there in the organization. So these, all these things together make another mature organization, level 3 organization. And these are some key process areas which this capability maturity model follows for maintaining or reaching to those levels. Next one is your managed level. That is, at managed level, quality goals are set for the organization, for the software products, as well as for the processes, complete process of the organization also. Measurements made help the organization to predict the product and process quality within the estimated time, within the estimated resources or some limited resources. So this kind of level is managed level, and we have discussed already some points about it. Now about its key process areas: quality management and quantitative management. These two things you have to remember for managed. So it is very easy to remember. Only the level 2 and level 3, some points you have to figure out that you can remember easily and you can relate to the things that we have already covered up. So that in this level number 4, it's very easy to remember what kind of management we are talking about. We are talking about two types of management: quality management and quantitative management. So this quality management includes the focusing on the plans and strategies for development of, to develop or for development of this analysis, which is based on the quality, and for understanding the product's quality. If there are some improvements required, that if you remember that in this point we have discussed about this quality thing only. We have discussed about what in estimated budget, in estimated time we have provided the things or not, and whether the organization is hiring uh, skillful people or not. So, on the basis of all these things, the organization is able to develop a quality product, a quality software. So, maintaining that, managing all those quality resources, quality people, and resources include human resource, technical resource, every kind of resource comes under those resources. So, to maintain that quality, they have to follow some things. Next one is quantitative. This part controls the project's performance in quantitative manner. So how much is required, in how much it will be enough. So those kind of things to be managed. So that is quantitative. These two types of management you have to remember as key process areas for level number 4. Last one is optimizing level, for which there are three key process areas. And for optimizing level, what we have discussed earlier, that it is the highest level of process maturity in maturity framework also. And the aim here of level 5 organizations, along with delivering a quality product and quantitative product, along with that, they have to work on the improvement of the organization with the help of feedbacks, with the help of utilization of latest techniques. If some changes are coming up on the basis of that, then the updations are to be made. Evaluation of software processes to improvise it, to increase your strength, to increase the productivity, to increase the longevity of the organization. So that one is your optimizing. And here three key process areas are there. First one is process change management. What is this process change management? So here the focus comes on the continuous improvement of organizations processes for getting good productivity, quality, uh, good management of time for the productivity or the software product. So that is change in the process, process change management. How you can improvise your process, that it is talking about. Second one, technology change management. So this one focuses on identification and utilization of latest technologies to improvise the quality of product and to decrease the development time. Okay, so that you have to remember. So that is technology. If some latest technology is available and utilizing which you can uh, develop some software or product in a less time but with more quality, then obviously you have to go for it. So that kind of things are to be identified by the organization. If there is something available and it's under budget and the organization is ready to take it, they are ready to implement it, then it is technology change management. Last one is defect prevention. Defect prevention, the main focus over here is the identification of the uh, causes of defect. You have to find out the reasons for the defect, why it is happening, and to prevent them to happen in the future. So that is defect prevention. You have to understand it, you have to analyze it, for what reason these defects came into existence and how you can remove them, how you can tackle them. So this becomes your key process areas topic for CMM that you have to remember. Why I told you also, you separately it is not there in your syllabus, but obviously we are talking about CMM, so key process areas are part of it. In last class also we have discussed, but I want to make it more brief and precise for the CMM part, because differences can come up, difference between key process areas of CMM and CMM. So just look at the diagram again and just take some 20-30 seconds to see it what we have discussed. Level 1 have no key process areas. Level 2 have some key process areas related to some matured level when it um, is gradually increasing from level 1 to level 2. Level 3 also having some more improvised key process areas because it reached to now level 3. Level 4 is all about quality and quantitative management, and level 5 is all about improvising the things in the organization. Now, what things you want to improvise? You want to improvise your technology, you want to improvise the complete process of the organization, and you have to tackle the defects on the basis of the feedback. So I hope you can remember with these kind of points, and you can make your own answers also with, if you can remember some of the key points. So I'm moving forward to the next slide, and these are some challenges um, faced during CMM implementation that you have to remember. So these challenges are nothing but becomes the drawbacks of your capability maturity model, and the first one from that one is lack of integration. So it has separate models for each function. Such models generally overlap, contradict, and display different levels of maturity. The lack of standardization leads to confusion and conflict during the implementation phase and increased training and appraisal. So this part is basically talking about okay, sometimes some functions can overlap each other, and because of which certain confusions can happen, which can also lead the organization to the reduced standard, low standard, and conflict can happen in the implementation phase because of those things. And after that, the budget also, training also, you have to improvise the training part. So that was lagging behind in CMM implementations with organization. Obviously, CMM many organizations are utilizing. I won't say it is very bad model and it is having a lot of disadvantages. No, there are some limitations. Some limitations. Okay, but it doesn't mean that companies are not following this particular maturity framework, maturity model. They are following it. Second one is there were some limitations in the key process areas. So these key process areas that define CMM level focus on policing activities like specifications, documentations, assessments, inspections, and do not reveal architecturally significant works. So the significant flaws it is talking about, some of the process areas are to be added on the later stages, which are really required, that you have seen in last class also, the diagram that I, the table that I've shown to you. Some key process areas, this one, some added key process areas for the improvement. So this one was basically for your CMMI integration part. Sometimes in some books you will not find separate tables for CMM key process areas and CMMI key process areas. I have gathered this information from different sources. So just for you, okay, we can understand the little difference between them. For that purpose, I wanted to show it to you all. So this one, there was some requirement to improvise the key process areas at some levels. That was another limitation of CMM. Next one is activity-based approach. So this CMM is a kind of activity-based approach that considers only the completion of specific activity and not whether the completed activity achieved the desired results. So on, it wants to say the basic CMM model doesn't focus on those things, that whether those activities that are being completed, even in time, even in budget, they are up to the mark or not, they are up to the satisfaction of customer or not. So CMM doesn't focus really much on that particular part. Um, so that was another limitation of CMM, activity based approach. Um, Last one is paperwork. CMM places great importance on paperwork and meetings that take management's time and effort away from actual work performance. So that is basically when we say na, ki when we are working too much on documenting things, then our focus really get away from the actual work processes that we have to implement, that we have to do. So CMM traps the organization in recording and complying with processes, often at the uh, on the verge of those strategic goals that are to be achieved. So that is that paperwork is to be reduced up. That was another limitation. So remember some 2 3 points. What are the disadvantages of basic CMM model, or CMM model only you can say, or CMM V1 also you can say, or CMM SEI also you can say, because it was being developed by Software Engineering Institute SEI. So any term can come up. These all are relevant to the CMM basic model. These are the disadvantages and some challenges that came over, and then to improvise it, CMMI came into existence. It was again developed by this SEI only. Some several different versions came up on the later stages in the different time, so that we have to discuss. And the second one is your CMMI, which gave some improvised process, which gave some improvised levels, in which more key process areas added up. And if the organization is following CMMI, that means it is little bit more advanced, you can say. So this CMMI is a process and behavioral model which helps organizations streamline process improvement and encourage productivity, efficient behaviors that decrease risk in software products and service development. So I hope you understood this point, why we are talking this. We are talking about why we are discussing this CMMI, and this we have already discussed. It was developed by SCI USA. Next one, this diagram we have already seen, and some of the things that are being added on in the CMMI that are being shown here in the key process areas. Like you can see over here in the managed one, earlier it was just about project management. Now another key process area added on in process performance. I will show you the comparative one. One diagram I have added, this one, in which you can directly compare the key process areas of CMM and CMMI. So here in CMM, it is showing that the defect prevention, sorry, we have to start from repeatable, because in initial there are no key process areas, so it is starting from level 2 repeatable. So here on the requirement management, project planning, project monitoring and control, uh, subcontract, the third party agreement that we have just discussed, quality assurance, these were same. Just it came into CMMI little bit different name. That was the only difference, supplier agreement management. And this red one is showing the new one added on in CMMI, measurement and analysis. So it is talking about one more thing added on in where about measurements and matrices that are being utilized for the process development, for the process of the organization, for the development of the products that are being analyzed. And analysis is done on what kind of metrics and measurement qualities are to be utilized. In level 3, many more key process areas have been added on, which are like your requirement development, technical solutions, verification, validation, decision analysis, and resolutions, which were not present in CMM key process areas. So, in this particular diagram, you can see that what are some new things added on, what are some new, or the earlier two or three things merged up and make as new one in the CMMI process. In level 4, about process performance being added up, and both process management, quality and quantitative management, they both being added up in this one topic only, in one key process area only. Last one is your casual analysis and resolutions, organizational innovation and deployment. So some of the things are talking about same things like technology change, process change will be covered up under innovation and development, deployment, and casual analysis and resolutions will be separate. So casual analysis means that casually you have to analyze things in a particular span of time, and you have to check again and again within a small span of time what are the requirements for the what is the feedback of the customers and what things you have to improvise. So that analysis is, so you can visibly see it, that what are some things that you have to remember if this kind of question comes up in your exam. Okay. So another thing about CMMI, um, this one we have seen key process areas, some new process areas have been added. Yes, this one we have to see. Standard CMMI appraisal method for process improvement. So there is a SCAMPI, you can say. There are three SCAMPIs you have to remember in this one, and it relates to that CMMI for the improvement in the process of the organization. These three standards have been added on, or you can say have been discussed, or this can for sure come up as a separate question in your exam. Okay, discuss all the SCAMPs of CMMI. Okay, or it can directly give you with the abbreviation only. So you should know the full form of this one, SCAMPI. So this there are three we have to discuss, three SCAMPs we have to discuss, A, B, and C. The first one is your most rigorous appraisal method. It is most useful after multiple processes have been implemented. It provides a benchmark for business and is the only level that results in official rating. It must be performed by certificate lead appraiser who is part of on-site appraisal team. So it is basically the appraisal method for process improvement. What is the appraisal method? Appraisal means that you are providing some increments to the team also, to the organization also. So how you will provide that appraisal? So for doing that, there is this first method, on-site appraisal team is there, and a certified lead appraiser is there who is going to check out the implementation being done in the organization, and what are the benchmarks for the businesses, whatever the commitments were there, on the basis of that official rating is to be given to the organization. So that is SCAMPI A. This SCAMPI B, it is less formal than SCAMPI A. It helps to find out a target CMMI maturity level, predict success for evaluated practices, and given the business a better idea of where they stand in maturity. So basically, what we are doing when we are doing appraisals now, you can relate this thing for any organization. You are giving them some appraisal category. Means in organization, you can say when the appraisal time comes in organization, especially for the employees. So on what basis which employee will get how much appraisal? So on the basis of their 1 year performance, obviously. If we are talking about our educational institutions, then how are these appraisals being made? What was the teaching performance of any faculty? In research work, how much teaching faculty has done in the market? Was the faculty enough active in the research area? How many papers they have published in this previous year? If they have taken some new funded projects, and what was the feedback of the students for the faculty? On the basis of all these things, this appraisal or increment happens. Okay, so in the same way, you can relate that thing over here for the organization. So this appraisal checkers, or you can say on-site appraisal team, their work is to identify those things. Okay, whether the organization team or the people who are working in that organization, they are up to the mark or not, how much progress they have done, and how much progress is required, where they are lagging behind, and what they have to do for that. So to evaluate those practices and to provide them some better idea, that is Scampi B level, you can. Then Scampi C is the appraisal method. Is this one is shorter, more flexible, and less expensive than class A and B, and it is designed to quickly assess a business's established practices and how those will integrate or align with CMMI practices. So that is to be checked. It can be used at high level or micro level to address organization issues or smaller process or departmental issues. It involves more risk than class A or B, and it is more cost. So there are these three levels to provide them appraisal method. There are basically, you can remember them as appraisal methods only. They are appraisal methods only, obviously standard CMMI appraisal methods for improvement of the process. So there are three levels. At level one, which is very strict, which is being performed by on-site appraisal team or lead appraisal. Level B is a little less formal than level A, and in level B they have to provide some better ideas. Obviously, it happens in A also, but if the team is very strict, sometimes like they just give the grade to the organization and that's it. Level C is more shorter, more flexible, less expensive than A and B, and it follows. It have to check whether the company is following all the practices of CMMI or not. So that is level C, Scam PC. So I hope you got the clearance what we are talking about here. This question can come up as a separate question for sure in your exam, and also you can utilize this complete content if the question comes up just about CMMI, then you have to talk about it. I'm moving to next slide, CMM and CMMI. Already we have seen this particular difference. The key process areas have been improved, and we'll just go through it. And I think we are less of time also. There is only 1 minute left. So anytime this meeting can end up. So don't think like I ended up the meeting. So here I will just give very little introduction what we will talk about in this one, or if question comes up the differences between CMM and CMMI, then some three points you should remember. So this CMM, the basic model measures the maturity level by determining the organization completes the specific activities listed in key processing. So it is activity based. CMM is basically activity based. CMMI is the improvised version which focuses on the results also. First difference that you have to remember, and you can relate it with these challenges also, which have been improvised in CMM. So I think I will not go further. We are about to, this meeting is about to end up.